What drives stories forward is conflict. And in cycling, there are three main types that we will borrow from a literature class: man versus self, man versus nature, and man versus man. The last one is what we're digging into today, a story that exploded in one race after months of hidden distrust and led to years of disdain. Sir Bradley Wiggins was a star of British cycling for years, winning multiple world championships and Olympic medals on the boards of the velodrome. In 2008, he turned his main focus to the road and was rewarded with a third overall in the 2009 Tour de France. 2011 was going to be Wiggins' year to win the Tour de France, with a win at the Criterium Dauphiné and a national championship win in the lead up to the race were evidence to his form. The Tour did not go according to plan. On stage 7, Wiggins crashed in a multiple rider pileup, breaking his collarbone and abandoning the race. He had enough time to recover and prepare for that year's Vuelta a España, where he'd have domestique Chris Froome to assist. Froome is nothing more than a below-average rider at this point in his career. Team Sky must have seen something in him, or they just needed a space filled and a British rider was available at a cheap rate. Froome comes into this Vuelta with no results and no eyes on him. That would change on stage 9. Chris Froome is pulling the main pack of contenders and dropping them one by one. Elbows bent, head looking down, he's done an impressive amount of work as he turns the keys over to Wiggins. A good performance, and one that was, maybe, unexpected. Stage 10 was far more unexpected. This was a time trial stage, a day that Wiggins surely had marked on his calendar as one where he would take full advantage of his talent in this discipline. Froome beat him by 23 seconds and finished second only to soon-to-be world champ Tony Martin. Prior to this, he did have 2 top 10s in time trials this year, but nothing to this level or against this competition. Suddenly, Chris Froome is now leading the Vuelta. Theoretically, this is a simple solution for Team Sky. Froome, the domestique, the no one, gets their day in the sun, and tomorrow they're back to working for Wiggins the next day. And that's exactly what happened. Froome spent stage 11 working, putting Wiggins into the overall lead. All is well until stage 15. The Angliru, one of the most feared climbs in all of cycling. Right now, Froome is setting the pace for an elite group, and Wiggins is sat on the wheel with no troubles. They're in pursuit of Juan Jose Cobo, who's currently in 4th overall. This climb and its 23% gradients spell disaster for Wiggins, who cracks. And now, Chris Froome, here on the day and for the rest of Vuelta, is suddenly the team leader. Try as he might, Froome finished second at the end in Madrid. This was an insane result and trajectory for someone who had, genuinely, 0 results until now. Wiggins still took third and has cemented his position as a real Grand Tour contender. 2012. Froome and Wiggins have raced together 3 times in the lead up to this year's Tour de France. Each time, Froome rode in support of Wiggins, and Wiggins was so dominant in each of these key races, coming into the Tour the heavy favorite, especially in a route with 2 long time trials. Frankly, the second favorite for the overall was, perhaps, Froome himself. Unknown to us and Team Sky, Froome was harboring doubts from the outset. Quote, "The difficult part for me was trusting him as a leader, given that in the last big race, the Vuelta, I'd gone there to support him, and he fell apart in the last few days. The team turned to me and said, right now, you have to try and win it. Wiggins had his own opinion on this. Quote, I wish he had told me. That is Chris's opinion, and as I've spoken about in the last few weeks here, that's the world we are all in. Maybe I wasn't the best communicator at the time. The year, I'd had a bad couple of days towards the end of the Vuelta. I'd broken a collarbone 6 weeks earlier, still had a plate in, I couldn't really get out of the saddle properly. I didn't expect to be in that position. And to be honest, if Chris is being honest as well, he didn't expect to be. He couldn't scratch his arse before that point and found himself second in the Vuelta with a week to go. As the 2012 Tour got underway, there is already bound to be some added drama with the team, also having to support world champ Mark Cavendish in the sprints. But 10 stages in, and Team Sky has everything under control. The day's final climb. Wiggins is setting the pace in the group right now, and Froome is suffering, beginning to be tailed off the back. Wiggins looks focused, determined, and in control. Then suddenly, Froome has recovered, and with 7 kilometers to go, he's setting the pace. He's cut this group just down to him, Wiggins, and Frank Schleck. Now, Schleck is gone, and it's just the Team Sky duo tearing up the climb, catching the remnants of breakaways. The camera cuts ahead to Pierre Rolland, currently leading the stage. Then it cuts back. Froome is riding, and Wiggins is nowhere to be seen. Froome, the upstart, is riding away from the designated team leader. Wiggins has been gapped for the contenders group completely. Froome is on the radio, presumably being told to slow down, which he does. Then we see the replay. Froome attacked the group, a move that we found out wasn't planned on or agreed to. At the end of the day and at the end of the tour, Froome fell in line, Wiggins became the first British rider to win the tour, and everything seemed solved. It was only in the years to come that we would learn exactly how fractured the team and their relationship had been. Wiggins never felt that his leadership should have been in doubt. Quote, that year, I hadn't lost a race either. I did win Paris-Nice, Romandie, Dauphiné. I hadn't lost a time trial all year, and I was leading the tour by 3 minutes going into the last couple of days with a 55-kilometer time trial. There were no signs I was going to crack. I hadn't cracked all year. Wiggins was so bothered by Froome attacking him that, according to team director Sean Yates, Wiggins threatened to pull out of the tour entirely. According to Yates, it had been agreed before the stage that Froome could attack in the last 500 meters of the climb, but allegedly then asked to be allowed to make his move earlier. Wiggins sent a text to Yates after the stage, which read, I think it would be better for everyone if I went home. It took Yates and Team Sky head Dave Brailsford's combined efforts to keep Wiggins in the race. However, this allegedly didn't lead to Froome getting any talking to from Brailsford because he had a, quote, dislike of confrontation. Quote, I don't think I packed my bags, but it can't go on like this for 2 weeks. I thought we were all on the same page. If it carries on like this, I'll just go home. Wiggins would withhold Froome's bonus for helping him win the tour for 18 months. 2013 was Froome's year to lead the team completely, as Wiggins was both sidelined with a knee injury and was beginning to separate from the idea of competing for a Grand Tour win. He said, quote, for me, it was always about winning the tour. I've done that. If I'm honest, I don't think I'm prepared to make those sacrifices again. I don't know if I'd want to go through all that again, to be honest. I've always had other goals, and there are other things I'd like to try and do. While it seemed like the beef was cooling, it wasn't done quite yet. The 2014 Tour de France was going to start in Britain, and Wiggins has been fully recovered from his knee injury. He is no longer the golden boy on Team Sky. The team is Froome's through and through, and Wiggins doesn't get selected for the Tour starting on his home soil. The two would never race together on Team Sky again, or even attend any of the same races after the 2013 World Championships. Time does heal almost all wounds. In 2021, on Geraint Thomas's podcast, Wiggins said that he regretted the entire feud. The whole fallout with Chris Froome was really regrettable. I impacted on that a lot, the way I behaved. It's just been really nice to make peace with all those people since then. Me and Froome met up for the first time actually at the Tour this year, at a nightclub towards the end. We hugged it out. I speak to him a lot now, and it's really liberating to go back and behave like I should have been behaving, really. Wiggins has been nothing but complimentary to Froome in the years since. They were never close friends, and probably never will be, but this flashpoint of resentment has finally come to an end.